Domestic violence and abuse. Are you or someone you care about in an abusive relationship? Today, I want to show you how to recognize the signs of domestic abuse and how to get help. What is domestic violence and abuse? When people think about abuse, they often focus on domestic violence, but domestic abuse includes any attempt by one person in an intimate relationship or marriage to dominate and control the other. Domestic violence and abuse are used for one purpose and one purpose only: to gain and maintain control over you. An abuser doesn't play fair. An abuser uses fear, guilt, shame, and intimidation to wear you down and keep you under their thumb. Domestic violence and abuse can happen to anyone. It does not discriminate. Abuse happens within heterosexual relationships and in same-sex relationships as well. It occurs within all age ranges, ethnic backgrounds, and economic levels. And while women are often victimized, men also experience domestic abuse, especially verbal and emotional. The truth is, abusive behavior is never acceptable, whether from a man, woman, teenager, or an older adult. You deserve to feel valued, respected, and safe. If you are being abused or you know someone who's in an abusive relationship, know that it is never your fault and you are not alone. Do not stay isolated. Talk to someone. Talk to Dot. Domestic abuse can escalate from threats, verbal assault, to violence. And while physical injury may pose the most obvious danger, the emotional and psychological consequences of domestic abuse are also severe. Emotionally abusive relationships can destroy your self-worth, lead to anxiety and depression, and make you feel helpless and alone. No one should have to endure this kind of pain. And your first step to breaking free is recognizing that your relationship is abusive. So, domestic violence and domestic abuse is not just about being hit, being slapped, being pushed around. These are not the only things that constitute as domestic violence and abuse. If you get shouted at all the time, you are in an abusive relationship. If someone holds their fist to you, even though they don't hit you, that's abuse. If someone insults you and puts you down, saying, "You have got no sense, you don't know what you're talking about," if nothing you do is ever right, you are in an abusive situation. If you live in constant fear of the unknown, you feel uncomfortable, you can't express yourself and be free in a relationship, then potentially something's not right. Most of all, trust your gut feeling. If you feel like something's not right, then potentially something's not right. And remember, you fell in love with a person. You fell in love with an image of a person that they presented to you. So it's not always that easy to walk away. The first thing is empower yourself with knowledge, understand what it is, understand what you're dealing with, and then the next step is what to do next. If you think that you're in an abusive relationship, empower yourself, get resources, check, find out, and then do what you need to do. Once again, it's IkwerreGirl Acheru coming to you from Talk to Dot. Love, peace, guidance, and respect.